Hi, I'm nickchecker. I'm the director of the Exploratory Playwriting and Filming program that runs out of the Thames Club. And we do this in coordination with the Flock Theater's Flock MakerSpace Performing Arts program and the Garde Arts Center. Today you're going to be seeing some presentations of what we call one-character wonders. I will explain them in a moment, but first I would like to bring up the subject of Flock Theater and the Garde Arts Center because both these wonderful organizations make it possible for our program to function. So I would like to start with Darren Wood, the artistic director of the Flock Theater, and he'll also be speaking on behalf of Jeannie Siegel, the development director of the Garde Arts Center, and letting you know a number of things that the Garde will be doing. But first, Darren, why don't you talk to us about Flock Theater and the new Flock Makerspace?
Well, just first I want to start by saying that both Flock Theater and the Thames Club are thrilled to support you and your students and anything that we can do in terms of help you guys develop and grow and especially create new theater in not only this time but any time. We are 100% to try and do that, and we're thrilled that we've been able to support and help you with that. I've also, Jeannie had asked me to speak just on behalf of the Garde, which of course is the jewel at the top of State Street, as we all like to say. And what she was saying that coming up, they're going to actually be cutting Rick Costa's hair on stage at the Garde. So there's that to look forward to. But I think we're all really anxious and waiting for the Garde to pick up and get back to bringing in those incredible shows from New York and all the other places that just draw so many people downtown and do all that. And we at Flock, we have offices over at the Thames Club, and we do a lot of work there as well. I'm going to actually introduce Victor over there and have him talk about the actual makerspace and some of the stuff that we've done there and some of the, where we're planning to go with that. So.
Yeah, this is Victor Chaberis. He is the Associate Artistic Director of the Flock Theater, and basically sounds like he's coordinating the Flock Makerspace. If I made any mistakes on there, I'll just ask Victor to correct me on that. But matter of fact, I did a whole feature on the Flock Theater for the Day Paper a couple of years ago, and the Flock Theater has been around for a while, just so people understand. When you go to the Arboretum and see those wonderful Shakespearean productions outdoors, that's the Flock Theater doing that. And they've been around for quite some time. The flock flies together, and that's what Darren first said. I've had the honor of performing with them in the past, and look forward to getting a chance to do that again sometime. Okay, Victor, why don't you take over?
Sure. So yes, we started the Makerspace actually just before the pandemic hit and everything, and so it was a brand new idea that we really hadn't heard of anything. We have the wonderful Garde Arts Performing Center, we have community theaters, we even have makerspaces in town, but they're all different focuses than a performing arts makerspace, which is something that Darren and I had never heard of really before happening. There might be something out there. But the idea was to bring a community of artists, whether they're professional or completely new to the table, bring them together and give them a space to create whatever their medium might be. So if you're a musician, if you're a dancer, if you're a poet, if you're a writer, whatever, as long as it has to do with the performing arts. So allowing them to come to a space to not only practice their craft and have a space to do that in, but also share ideas and have a community of people where there is this dialogue of art, performing arts. So, of course, the pandemic did hit, and we were able, fortunately enough, to pivot like so many other places and use the space virtually. And so we brought in musicians for different performances for the community at large and even farther because of the virtual nature of it. But again, starting to build this performing arts makerspace through that internet, and now finally really bringing it back into that person element as well, which the performing arts, of course, thrive with.
And one thing I want to add to that we started out initially just not knowing how long this pandemic was going to last. We started reading Shakespeare plays. And so Monday through Friday, we'd read one act of a Shakespeare play. And we added in a couple other plays, but we actually read through the entire canon of, I think it was 39 plays, as well as additional plays put in there. And we had such an amazing group of people that would just chime in and read, and the discussions afterwards were absolutely amazing. And actually this summer, we're doing Cyrano. We're not going to be in the Arboretum this summer. We're going to be at Mitchell College and at Wilcox Park in Rhode Island. But we're doing Cyrano de Bergerac, and that actually came out of that reading group. Wow. Where it's a play I read way long ago, even before I met you, Nikki. But
that's a while ago.
But we read it. Everyone loved it, and was just like, oh, we've got to try and do it this summer. And so that's how that evolved out of that. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that one of my writers, who's also a young actor, Peter Yackovetsky, who will be performing today, he's been cast in Cyrano.
Yes.
Which is terrific. Rather interesting, he was in New York trying to audition, and then, of course, the pandemic hit. And what's the point in staying in New York and spending all that money on an apartment when there's not only no theaters to audition for, but the traditional waiter's job? You don't have that either. So he came back home, and found out about my program, and I let him know more about Flock Theater. So he's got quite a bit of theater coming at him now. So, and speaking of the one character wonders, this grew out of the Exploratory Playwriting program, which was not going to be designed for this, but it kind of evolved spontaneously. A single character goes through 3 phases. This character takes the audience on what I call an emotional tour de force. And there are 3 phases: rant, reconsider, resolve. The character basically is speaking to the world in general, and the character is roiled in angst over some issue. The character then struggles with that source of angst until finally, in the pit of all the emotional surging, the character resolves the angst that has been the source of the problem, for better or worse. We did have one when we did this live streaming performance, and one of the writers, actually David Hamilton, who will be performing a different script today, had a character, a science fiction piece, and the character went back in time and messed around with things in World War II, and then discovered what he actually failed to accomplish, but what he did instead, and felt so guilty about it. At the very end of it, he hung himself. So the resolution is not always for the better. And that was played by a Flock actor, Malcolm Cameron.
Oh.
So today we have 4 of them, and we've chosen to do it in the following way. These are stage readings, very animated stage readings. They had the choice of sitting at the table or working with just a chair. So I'll explain what that is. One of them will be sitting at the table, and the person must be extremely animated, use every aspect of the body and the face, but cannot get out of the chair. Then we have the 3 that will be following. They'll be doing it using this very chair here, and they cannot leave the vicinity of the chair. This also is designed because we're trying to keep the filming for this very, very simple. So all the cameras are just focused on the performer. If things go pretty well here, we hope to do more of these, but with more sophisticated angles. But today, we felt simplicity and creativity together would be the best bet. The writers also had the opportunity or the choice of doing it themselves or having an actor do it. One of the writers has chosen to bring in an actor that I know who is wonderful and has a lot of experience, and he also chose to memorize the script. So you have that option too. Stage reading But if you're really feeling your oats and you want to memorize the script, well, then you can do that too. So in a few moments, we're going to bring you the first of these 4 presentations, but I cannot stop without thanking Southeastern Connecticut Television, Frank Fulcero and Frank Ficini, who run the studio, because they believe in creativity. They love to see any kind of production that basically is outside the norm. And what's nice about these 2 gentlemen, they'll give you a chance. And they will do everything they can to make sure you're comfortable with the studio and that you want to come back and do it again. So we're hoping that you'd like us to come back and do this again. Pretty soon, we'll be where we're supposed to be also. This is theater, even though filming is involved. And I put the filming part onto this medium because of the studio allowing us to film productions as well. But we long for the time when we can be in front of live audiences again, because these scripts are designed so that you have your audience almost in a semicircle, almost in the old-fashioned Greek theater style, where you can go right up to audience members and speak directly to them. And we're going to have that opportunity at our beloved Thames Club midsummer. We're going to be having a presentation there. And then things are going to clear up, and then we're going to have both film productions and actual live productions too. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming in here today. Thank you again for what Flock and the Garde has done for us. And we're going to try and deliver you a Grand Slam home run today, we hope. And whoever's watching, thank you. We appreciate an audience, obviously. And in a few moments, you'll see the first of our presentations.
Hello, I'm Pam Barber, and I wrote and will be performing We Are the Vaccine. Jane, a woman trying to avoid the coronavirus, weighs her hopes and fears for the future. Mother Nature is bringing us to our knees with this coronavirus, COVID-19. In the beginning, our leaders told us to relax, that it was going away soon. Well, that was a lie. That's not what happened in Europe. People dropped like flies over there. They couldn't even bury all of them. And in China, they just plain lied about how many people died. In our country, how do we even know if we have the virus if we can't get tested? I'd like to get tested. What if I'm one of those silent carriers and I'm infecting people? Why weren't we better prepared? Where are all the sick people supposed to go to be treated? There aren't enough hospital beds and ventilators in some places. And guess what? The so-called government stockpile doesn't have enough to go around either. Healthcare workers are sick and some are dying. The poor healthcare workers. There aren't even enough masks and gowns for them. I'm supposed to sew a mask for myself out of cloth. We are the United States of America. This is shameful. This is un-American. This is like a bad sci-fi movie. I'm afraid to touch anything. The scientists and doctors are telling us this virus can live for days, and it's deadly. It gets in your lungs, and you can't breathe, and you end up with pneumonia. Is it inevitable that everyone will get it? Maybe not in this wave, but in the next? When will I get it? Will I have a mild case, or will it kill me? We have to stay home. You can't even see your friends or your family. My parents are in their 70s, and some of my neighbors are too. They're really vulnerable, just going out for food. I want to bring them food, but I don't dare. What if I have the virus and I infect them? I worry about my family, my husband, my kids, my friends. We are all in danger of getting this. Even using masks and gloves. All it will take is one wrong touch of a door handle or somebody sneezing close by. Bob or me or one of the kids will get infected and then bring the virus home to everybody else. How will I take care of my family? Okay, get a grip, Jane. I can wear gloves to go to the grocery store, and I can figure out a mask. And I should be thankful that I have the money to go to the store at this point with so many people out of work. Though it's certainly possible Bob or I could lose our jobs in this pandemic too. I'll be really careful when I get home and I'll wipe everything all down. I won't let Bob or the kids touch anything for hours, even when they try to grab snacks. But will that be enough time? Or should it be days before they touch it? Oh, I don't know who or what to believe about what I should do. One minute they're talking about treatments like malaria drugs and blood plasma from infected people. But then we hear that a vaccine won't be ready anytime soon, and when it is, it'll take months to distribute. I'm getting weary, driving myself crazy, taking all of these precautions just to go out to empty the trash or get the mail. I use my elbows to open and close the dumpster, but then I worry, did I touch something that had virus on it? Sometimes my arms and hands tingle, like I've touched a live wire. Is it the virus? I try to convince myself that it's just my imagination. And my heart is breaking for our local businesses. I'd like to support them, but I'm not going to risk it. I can't bring the virus home to my family. I'd never forgive myself if I did. But are gloves and masks enough? Now I'm almost out of gas in my car. Gas pump handles are full of virus. Everyone touches them. What would I have to touch at the pump? The pump handle and the screen. I put my credit card in. Hold the pump handle for a long time while I pump the gas. That's too much exposure. My arms and hands will be tingling like crazy. And when I get to the store, the shelves will be bare. I've seen pictures of bare shelves on the internet. It's haunting. It's so scary. Like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime. I am scared that my family and I aren't going to survive this monster. I can't do enough to protect them. I can't bear thinking about losing my husband or my sons or my daughter. And it scares me even more to think about what would happen to them if I died. Our daughter has special needs. My guys couldn't take care of her. I don't want to go there. I can't go there. Lately, I've been sensing my grandmother Trudy around me. She's been dead for many years. She survived the 1918 flu pandemic, and I'm glad she did because I wouldn't be here if she didn't. I remember her stories about people who would be fine in the morning and then be dead by nighttime. And about a second wave when even more people died. And she'd say, "This can never happen again. We know more today about disease and sanitation. We can't do this to ourselves again." Last night, I heard the bell she used to ring when we were kids when she called us in for Sunday dinner at her house. This morning, I saw that a cup on my shelf had been moved several inches back. It was a special one that she gave me right before she died, one that I'd admired at her house for years. So I know it was her. She moved the cup. Is she warning me of what's to come? Or trying to give me the courage to fight? So, Grandma Trudy, I'm going to need your help to fight. Is that you when my arms tingle? When I touch something, I hope it's you. Because it's going to be a long time before it's safe to go out. Months, maybe a year or more. But this shelter in place is so hard on our family. My kids are fighting over who gets the kitchen table to do their virtual classrooms while I try to work in my bedroom. We need to have a family meeting to talk about our physical and mental health. Add in some walks and outdoor activities. Schedule time for these or they won't happen. I ordered groceries online, but it's still another 4 days before delivery. I'm trying as hard as I can right now. Day by day, I just keep going. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to panic. We won't starve. And I'll keep donating to the food bank to help others, just like Grandma Trudy always did. We'll go on. After all, our ancestors survived the bubonic plague. We're just being asked to stay home to keep the virus from spreading. My kids want to go out, and I tell them, don't you dare try to sneak out. Because if something happens to you, I can't recreate you. But I can keep you safe, and I will fight to do that, because you have your whole lives ahead of you. And someday your kids will ask you, what did you do in the COVID-19 pandemic, Daddy? And you can say, we stayed safe. My parents kept us safe, just like I would do for you. I got mad when I heard that some states were encouraging people to go out too early. I felt like we were being tricked. Like maybe some politicians didn't really care if vulnerable people like my parents died. Do they really think that older people are going to die anyway, so what's the big deal if they die sooner? Could they be so heartless to think that this will save money on Social Security and nursing home costs? Well, we're survivors in our family. Grandma Trudy is proof. I am too. We are not expendable. I think my Grandma Trudy would be proud of what I'm doing for my family right now. She'd also remind me to fight for others. Shame on those greedy rich politicians for allowing homelessness and poverty to perpetuate. This virus has really shined a light on the underbelly of poverty because it's more deadly for people who are poor and disadvantaged, especially minorities. And yes, shame on the politicians for not being better prepared for this pandemic. But shame on the people, including me, for letting them get away with it and being complacent and not speaking out when funding was cut. Grandma Trudy would say, "Don't let this virus bring you to your knees, Jane." Yes, Grandma, but I'm not doing enough. Donating to the food bank is not enough. I feel so bad and guilty and selfish. I'm so focused on my own family's well-being while others are suffering much worse and can't keep their kids safe and fed. I'm looking at the light shining on that underbelly and all the injustices it represents, and I know my family and I are not doing enough, not giving enough, not putting ourselves in the shoes of others. So I'm going to take a cue from you, Grandma Trudy. I need to teach my kids what you're teaching me, that the virus and the injustices are the problem, and a vaccine for both is the solution, that people's activism is a vaccine. We are the vaccine. We can change old behaviors and attitudes, and we can take the heat from those who don't agree with us. When you think about the defining moments in your life, it's those times when you stood up or spoke up to someone who was being unfair, harmful to you or others. And our biggest regrets in life are the times when we don't speak up or stand up. We are the vaccine.
Hi, I'm Peter J. Yackovetsky. I've written a short play called The Last Laugh that I'll be performing. A clown questions his career in a world that seems to hate and fear clowns. When was the last time you saw a funny clown in a movie or on TV? They're getting rare, aren't they? All my life, I loved clowns. Go figure, right? I always wanted to make people laugh. That's what clowns do. At least, that's what I thought. That's what I remember. But it feels like they changed the rules while I wasn't around. Moved on. Left me behind. Seems nobody wants clowns anymore. That's not true. They want scary clowns. I read something the other day, some study said people were always scared of clowns. Nobody ever really liked them. Well, I did. I remember people laughing. Kids used to love clowns, birthday clowns, circus clowns. There were clowns hosting TV shows. I didn't make all of this up. I didn't dream it. Doesn't matter, though. The voice of the people has spoken. There's no work. You know what busy season is for clowns these days? October. Haunted houses, Halloween. I don't get it. Nobody clued me into the gag. They just moved on with the bit and act like I'm crazy for not keeping up. I don't know. Maybe it is me. Maybe the world's changed, whether I like it or not. Maybe I need to change with it. Maybe things were always like this and I just never noticed. Maybe I need to give the people what they want, huh? If clowns are supposed to be scary, I can be scary. Laughs, screams, a response is a response, right? Play to the crowd, yeah? Where's the harm? It's not what clowning is about. It's not why I became a clown. It's not even clowning, really. I mean, yeah, you gotta play to your audience. Sure, you gotta give them what they want, but this time they're wrong. So what? First rule of comedy. If nobody laughs, the joke ain't funny. But when did that make it scary? When did the world decide that? I don't know. I don't know. They can't all be wrong, can they? Everyone's made up their minds. Who am I to say otherwise, huh? It's no sense starving over it. And there's no point in fighting it, is there? No, the point is that I'm right. God damn it! I'm not the one who's broken. I'm not the one who's screwed up. They are. The world is. It's. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm alone. I'm a holdout. No, I'm a holdover. Outmoded, outdated, old hat. A minority of one. Doesn't matter if I agree. You can't win over the world. It's better to just quietly go along with it. Keep yourself up to date. Give them what they want. This is good. I'm making a good choice. The right choice. The only choice left to me. No. Don't think like that. This is my call. I love being a clown. This is how I do it. I'll get more work again. Scary clown's still a kind of a clown. Who knows? If I'm good at this, maybe I could even do it full-time. Picture that. Full-time work as a modern, proper, scary clown. Making people scream. And not laugh. Never laugh anymore. Stop it. Stop it! You weren't making them laugh anyway. They were never going to laugh. But I was trying to, at least. If they don't laugh and it's because I'm not trying to be funny, then what am I doing? If I give in, if I sell out, then what does that make me? It's not just playing along. It's betrayal, capitulation. If I'm the holdout and I say, "You're right, world, clowns are scary. Look at me, I can be scary too," then I'm saying that no, I won't. Maybe there's no place left for clowns anymore. Maybe I'll never make someone laugh again, but I won't just go along with it. I won't pervert myself. Better to just cease. Go away. You want the last laugh, world? It's yours. But I won't laugh with you. And it won't be at my expense.
My name is Henry R. Stebbins, Jr. My play, The Indian Raid on Hatfield, is about a Noratuk sachem who executes a surprise attack on a colonial town. My actor portraying Ashkelon is Robert Canelli.
My name is Ashkelon. It is September 19th, 1677. As a Noratuk sachem, I am grieving the loss of my homeland. After the battles of Bloody Brook and Turner's Falls, we were forced to go up north. The massacre of many braves in the swamp fight and the death of King Philip on the 12th of August, 1676, put an end to that war. As a refugee up here in the north, I am a member of a group of tribes that the English call the French Indians. We live up here in the Northern Territories at places such as Sorrel and Odenak. We have a close relationship with the French. The French make us kill them beaver and moose and other things. This gives us a means to trade for needed goods. Destroying our crops, English invasions, burning our wigwams, forced me to leave my homeland. It was a cruel thing to do. We were a close tribe with our own traditions. Living in touch with nature, I was used to hunting and fishing in my own way. All of that was disrupted by the English invasion. And to make matters worse, they treated us as savages, even to changing the names of our Indian lands to English names. I need to strike back. Between Northampton and Hatfield. Hatfield's the weaker, so I will attack there. I will harvest that town like ripe grapes in the fall. Braves reported that Hatfield had been lulled into a recklessness and a feeling of safety from attack. No scouts sent out, no guards at home. They think we deserted our homeland, but that is not true. Settlers like Benoni Stebbins knew we were here for months. We tried to show the English that our being here shows our defiance to their colonies. when I returned to my homeland of Pocumtuck and Nunatak, I made our presence felt in places that the English took from us. And to bring fear to them, we made random attacks on the Puritan farmers, even causing death to women and children as well as men. But there is still something that troubles me. Beside killing a few English in order to protect ourselves, going about our attacks, we must take captives. We don't take these captives to replace the lost tribal members such as the Iroquois of the West. For us, taking captives on raids are important. And they give us the means to trade and develop a kinship with the French. A closeness with the French is important to them for our help in planning future raids against the English. Ransom monies allowed us to purchase many supplies, including the weapons and ammunition we need for our fall and winter hunting, as well as our defense and our future raids. As difficult a task this is for us, we do not like to take captives from their families. The French, they do need white women for servants, for nuns, and even for wives for the fur traders. Having English captives, especially women and young girls, will allow the French to treat us like their brothers. So, I led them down from Canada on a river that the English named the Connecticut. It would be better to attack without warning before midday while they were in the midst of their daily chores. Scouts reported that the colonists had built a defensive stockade the year before, but there was no one on guard today. Some men were helping to frame a new house, while others were harvesting corn south of the palisade. On this late fall morning, my group of braves came upon the town entering from the west. We then turned north and attacked that end of town, leaving the houses in their tall stockade alone. The men standing on the new house were shot and killed. Others were captured and bound. We raided 13 homes, setting fire to some of them, along with barns filled with corn. 12 English were killed, including women and children. Sarah Kellogg and her baby boy were among the first to die. Near the end of the attack, the 4 English in the Graves house were shot and killed. Some were slain because they resisted capture. Others, because they would not have served as captives that the English would want. But my doubts and my thoughts, were about revenge. Even though I hated the killing. That's the way I always hoped it would be. My goal was always to take captives. But sometimes I just could not control my braves when their blood ran hot with revenge. The English made it difficult to follow the path that I chose. Taking captives would be the key to our success with the French. As a result, some English were wounded. Others managed to escape. The most important part of our attack were the 17 Puritans we captured. One was an 8-year-old boy named Samuel Kellogg, who lost both parents with the first shots. Another was Hannah Jennings, whose husband proved to be very brave by trying to get her back months after the battle. Though the men in the field saw the smoke and rushed to the village, we had already marched our 17 captives across the field, and we moved north on the Pocumtuck path toward Deerfield. They did not pursue us lest we kill captives. They did not know we wanted the captives alive. And so, now that this attack is complete, we march toward Canada, knowing that we will stop in Pocumtuck, Deerfield, in the evening for our attack there. Deerfield. I am beginning to worry about the attack there. I mean, had they heard the gunshots at Hatfield? If they did, would we be walking into a hornet's nest? I buried my doubts about the Pocumtuck attack. So we moved our bounded captives upriver for our raid at dusk. We hope the English will be wary rebuilding their town and might be taken off guard. This will give us more captives to make up for the ones killed at Hatfield. Later, on our journey to a distant Canada, we should construct a large wigwam To give our captives a needed rest, with 2 English women bearing babies, we will have to stay there for days. But that's okay, because this will prepare us for our final trip through the mountains as winter was approaching. We want these captives to survive the difficult journey to Canada. Otherwise, all of our efforts would have been wasted. Hatfield gave us valuable captives. 3 women, 14 children, and a man. This will please the French as long as they can survive the long trek to Canada. After surviving terrible cold, lack of food, and the march across a snow-covered ground, we should reach the French settlements by January. If our captive methods are successful, my French Indians will probably join us on our spring raids. The suddenness of our attack on Hatfield and Pocumtuck will create fear in the entire colony. We will make them think that another Indian war is possible. Our ransom monies should give us many supplies as long as the talks don't get drawn out. Some of my braves even talked about trading captive women for firewater. But for now, I look to Pocumtuck and the English and that land that they took from us as well.
Hello, my name is David Hamilton, and I am the writer of my play, Isolate, which I will also be performing. It is about a man in self-isolation who ponders the outside reality. My name is Walt, and I know why you're here. And you probably want to know why I'm here. I see people like you, reporters, saying anything for a good story. News story. Man traps himself in house for no reason. Well, I have a reason. I love being alone. Truth can't be bent in my mind. But news stories always split people apart. The division I see every day is like a fault line, ready to split at the slightest quake. People on the news like to tell us what they feel we are to believe. I don't like them. I don't belong in this world. So I separated myself from all outside influence. Oh, I can hear people say, Walt, you're a hermit. Go out and see the world. Well, I have my world right here. My family hates me. They wanted me to choose their side in a violent riot caused by divisions in opinion. Politicians wanted to change how we're to vote. But I didn't choose their side of the voting issue. So my mother disowned me. She said to me, if you don't agree with us, you're not one of us. So I left, decided to hide in my house and not leaving it to bother anyone. I enjoy being alone. But as I watch people going by outside every day, I do see things that I may be missing. I miss my favorite ice cream, fried dough, and hot dogs that I love to get at the carnival events every year. I want to see concerts and baseball games with my friends. I doubt they don't even look at me anymore. I want to go out and laugh in the face of the people who disagree with me. But I fear going out because of the mean ones I might meet. So I don't belong in the outside world. That's why I've chosen to stay secluded like this. I've heard there are nice people out there, outside my bubble of sorts. Should I stay home and protect myself from divisive people? I see the lies, the deception, the world of politics, and everything that splits people apart. Is there unity and peace to balance it out? I have no idea. But if I went outside into my unknown, what would I find out there? Would there be peace, unity, and kindness? Or would I find the opposite? All caused by strife and division of thought. I would like to see people accepting of me, not thinking I'm some out-of-touch weirdo. My ability to communicate has suffered greatly. I haven't talked to anyone in months. I don't fit in the world anymore. The world has moved on. The normal I left behind is different now. I wonder how different the world is now. I fear if I go out and explore, I will be belittled. Do I want to brave that, or do I want to stay where I am? No. If I'm going to go out and explore, it should be on my terms. But do I know those terms? Maybe I don't. Did I know my friends and family would desert me because I didn't agree with them? No, of course I didn't. I will admit, isolation from people hasn't been the greatest thing I've ever done. I felt lonely, but I've never admitted to anyone. Admitting my loneliness would say that I failed. I don't want to fail. Perhaps that should be part of my terms to explore, if that ever happens. The biggest question I have is, why did my mother disown me? Did I embarrass her with my choice that did not match hers? I'm my own person, damn it! I thought that changing the ways we vote was not the right way to fix the divide in people from both sides. But what if I was wrong? Is that even possible? My mother has not come to me asking for forgiveness for the way she treated me. I believe she should. But will she? I don't know. I saw a woman outside my house recently. Who is she? She was waving at me. Is she some sort of siren trying to draw me outside? But should I venture out and see the strange woman? I don't believe I should trust that person. Those people will berate me for staying here. All because I don't share their opinion. I want to go outside. But at what cost? I'm lost and conflicted. What am I to do? That woman. Outside. I recognize her. It's my mother. Why is she outside? I want to reach out to her. Why is she here? She's holding a sign. It says she's forgiven me. Do I believe her? She verbally abused me for disagreeing with her to change the way we to vote. Does voting blindly really help anyone? I did want her to apologize to me for disliking my decision. Am I getting my wish? Is my mother the glimmer of hope I've been looking for? Has she really changed? But if I go out there, will she still hate me? Or has she truly forgiven me? This fear of the unknown is keeping me from out there. Perhaps I'll go and greet my mother. All these questions prove I don't have all the answers. It's time to get answers. I truly hope my mother is the first sign that things are changing. If it's not, then I'm ready to face what comes next. Okay, Mom, I'm ready to face you and the outside world. Okay, I'm joining the journey.